Hi guys, Surprise here, your local pothead expanding our universe, back with another video. Yeah. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Like sisemangi I'm doing well ya kudanganya juu. If I'm not doing well, I wouldn't be shooting for YouTube. I wouldn't be having like the bandwidth to like even shoot content. So I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well too. I hope the shifts are not like zisikutingize sana, because there's many shifts happening. So yeah. Anyway, on today's video, I'm gonna be talking about, I don't know what it will be called, but sasa the idea behind it ni dealing with humiliation, hate, external projections, basically hizo vitu, dealing with them. So let's get into it. So growing up, I was I think my personality is just like shy and very to herself, but then I have this undying need to share myself with the world, which makes many people believe that I'm outgoing and extroverted, but I'm more introverted and shy, and I've always been like that ever since I was a kid. Na hii ndio reason yenye wao wanasema people should be placed, like certain environments will nurture you better than other environments, and I feel like many of the environments that I found myself in growing up, they were not the best kind of environments, but they were the environments that I needed to be who I am today, and they're the environments that I needed to learn what I am going to say in this video today. Sindio? So nilikuwa a very shy kid, but I always knew I'm talented. So ilikuwa inafika like point ya perform like in front of people or to do my thing in front of people, I would be very very shy about it, and maybe singeipea like what I would give if I was alone, because nilikuanga nina perform peke yangu sana pia nikiwa mtoto. So I feel because of that fact I was exposed to a lot of public humiliation from early on, because I have this undying need to share myself with the world. I do want to share myself with the world, but for some reason my confidence was just not all the way there. I feel like I was confident in certain easy to need development years. Actually, your development years are like the most important years, because they're the years that make you who you are. And I feel like all through my development years, nearly okay, wacha to rudi to the topic at hand. Yeah, so I was exposed to a lot of public humiliation because of who I am because of how my personality is. And I don't really blame the people who like would humiliate me, but I see the consistency in my behavior ever since then and now. Like, yes, at some point I lost myself and I would let those things get to me, but there's a consistency in how I always dealt with it and how I always like moved, knowing what I knew about certain situations. I have very many instances that I can give. There's this one time tulikuwa tuna dance church. So nakumbuka kuna time tulikuwa tuna dance church. Sikuwa nina dance vibaya, vile tu nilikuwa nina dance ni kama ninaogopa, and this group of girls were laughing at me. Not because I was dancing badly, but because, I don't know, because I was shy. I don't know why they were laughing, but they were laughing at me. That I feel is like some sort of public humiliation, because it was in front of a lot of people. So, yeah, si nilisema public humiliation, nilisema nini ingine? Hate. Niliongelea nini ingine? External projections, yeah. On external projections, hizi tu ni vitu zenye watu wanajuanga about themselves and they want to act as though hizo vitu ni wewe. That's what external projections are. The fact that somebody would be like, anajifanyanga, but deep down it's just a reflection of yeye ndio anajifanya, si wewe, because if they don't know you, or if they've not experienced that from you, how would they be able to deduce that we unajifanya? Ama how would they be able to deduce that, yeah, you are that kind of way, if they don't know it about themselves already? So Tena, growing up, I was exposed to a lot of, I feel like all of us, but now I'm basing it on my personal experience and hoping that it resonates. I found myself, especially sasa, like, let's say from class 7 to like form 3. Hapo ni teenagehood, like, hata hapo si preteens, hapo ni teenagehood. I didn't know myself. Ama I knew myself, but I let other people tell me who I was a lot. By the way, that's one thing. If you don't know yourself, the world will tell you who you are. It's very, very true. So I feel like I lost myself at some point, and I was very much focused on what everyone around me was telling me about myself. External projections. Kwanza, okay, I won't censor myself today. So mi nimeishi na a lot of people, a lot of different characters, a lot of different personalities, na nafeel kwanza kutoka class 7 to form 3 ndio hiyo kuishi na watu sana ilifanyika. And I ended up, ni kama each person I was living with, nilikuwa nina end up nimechukua personality yenye yeye anasema mimi ni. The personality that they're externally projecting onto me. And that is a lot of personalities. That is a lot of personalities. So you end up losing yourself and hating yourself for it. Because deep down, you know yourself. And vile nimesha sema, if you look at the consistency in your behavior, you'll realize what was an external projection and what was not an external projection. Yes. Alafu sasa on hate. I feel like most of the hate, mimi si mtu, okay, acha tuanzie hapa. Mimi si mtu mwenye nilikuwa nina believe, actually hadi wa leo. Ni venye tu, sometimes you have to be very realistic and very honest with yourself. I didn't believe in haters. I don't even believe in haters. Yes, let me say it like that. I don't even believe in haters. I'm not the kind of person who lives my life thinking, I know nani, when they see this, they will feel like, nah. I'm the kind of person who just lives their life. Like, I am, saa zingine ninakuanga detached. Saa zingine ninakuanga detached from the fact that somebody might honestly not like you. And it is true that they don't like you. And you don't have to over intellectualize on that. It's just hivyo vile iko. And most of the times I have faced, like, unashanga mbona huyo mtu ananitreat hivyo, like, where is this coming from? I've been nice to this person, I've tried to engage them, I've tried to accommodate them. Why is it just not clicking? It's not clicking because it's not clicking. And many a times it's because they see the light in you. Mara mingi ukipatana tu na mtu na hakupendi, but hataki kusema hakupendi, anataka kukua around you. Ni juu anaona chenye unaweza kuwa. Many times when you are a bearer of light, people outside of you see it more than you see it. Because you're used to it. Especially sasa kwa development years, when you don't know yourself and you need like some guidance and all. You won't be able to see it unless you have like somebody there who is like genuine about it and who is reminding you of it. But kama hauna hiyo, most of the people you will meet will try to flip it around on you and just hate. Let me refer to my notes on that point. So I have come to the acceptance that some people treated me poorly and were hostile to me simply because like they just hated my light. They hated my light, or they wanted to be it, and they wondered why it was so easy for me to do it and not for them, and they just end up hating your guts. Na unafaa ku accept that kuna watu kama hao. Like, don't be delusional and think that everyone, kila mtu ana move around akifikiria venye, oh, you're so sweet and you're so nice. No, some people hate your guts, and I had to accept that. So how did I come to terms with accepting it? Because hiyo sasa ndio the focus of this whole video. Dealing with humiliation, public humiliation, external projections, hate, and all that, and shame. Yeah. How do you deal with that? I would say the answer to it is authenticity. Honestly, it's authenticity. Sitaichoka kuongelelea authenticity kwa hii channel yangu, by the way. So yeah, be ready to hear it 1,000 more times and more. Because when you're authentic, there's no image to uphold. When you're authentic, when you know yourself, you are authentic. Therefore, hata mtu aki-project something on you, it won't have a receptor. Like, okay, I don't get who you think that is, but that's not me, because you know yourself. Then, yeah. When you're authentic, hata mtu a hate, wa unajua, you're not even doing it for them. It's not even about them. It's not even about anyone other than you doing what you were meant to do in this world, vile wa unafikiria ulikuwa unafaa kuifanya. When you're authentic, shame is nothing. Like, cause hata shame haita exist, cause wa ulikuwa tu unakuwa wewe. Like, you are just being yourself. And if somebody finds it embarrassing or shameful, then that's on them. Cause you weren't trying to like embarrass yourself anyway. You are just being yourself. Yes. So I'll read something I wrote. Your ability to remain authentic and to look at Your ability to remain authentic and to look inside will help you recognize and notice the consistency that has been in building your life. Ndio maana I will always insist on going back home to yourself. Like, kuna hii kitu yenyewe inashinda ikisema, once you like break the barriers of society and all, you'll now be going back home to who your inner child was. Because your inner child was onto something. Your younger self was always onto something before society corrupted and shamed and guilt-tripped and did all the numbers on you. You always knew what you were meant to do. So looking back inside and going back home to yourself will help you recognize what is not of you, and it will help you itakusaidia tu ku deal na external projections. Yes. Another way that you can deal with all that ni using your intuition. This was a funny realization. I feel like this was a realization that I wasn't expecting, because when you hear about intuition, most people think it's just a voice that tells you stuff, alafu it will go away. No, I feel like intuition precedes memory. When your intuition comes in, you might not be able to fully understand it because you don't see the whole picture. But when you let time do its thing, like leave it to time, you will have the memory of what your intuition meant. So, for instance, sasa wakati nilikuwa ninachekelewa, wakati nilikuwa na humiliatiwa, mi hata niliitwa a whore nikiwa like class 7 na mwalimu wangu mbele ya class. You know, wakati nilikuwa nafanyiwa hizo vitu zote, there's a voice that was in my head telling me what I knew to be the truth. But then, when you're in that situation, you don't really understand that voice. But sai nikiwa mtu mkubwa, do you know that voice is still present? Like, my memory has caught up with my intuition. And I remember it so vividly and I remember it so clearly. And I was right. They were wrong. I did not know it. Because sasa mimi nilikuwa tu like, at that point, I would say, kwanza wakati we bado ni mtoto, you always look at it from your POV. Hautawahi fikiria, maybe huyu mse ndio alifanya ABCD ndio maana. Especially because we have been conditioned to think that we are always the problem. We are conditioned so much by society to think that you should always figure out what is wrong with you so that you are able to live with people, especially narcissistic people. Nah, that's not the right way. You should just figure out what you can do better, not what is wrong with you. Because there's nothing wrong with you unless there's truly something that you know is not authentic to yourself. That is what is wrong, not who you are authentically. So intuition precedes memory. Follow your intuition. Leave it to time. The truth has its own spirit. The truth has its own spirit. Time will always tell. Hold on to that intuition up until memory comes and serves you the bigger picture, I would say. Those are like the two ways in me wanna deal na hizo vitu. And I feel like that's a sure way of dealing with such. Going back into yourself with authenticity and following your intuition. You would never go wrong with those two. Yes? Na feel ni kama nimeongelelea vitu very important, and I hope that they resonate with somebody, if not everybody. Yeah. Anyway, acha nione kama kuna kitu ninasahau. Maybe the last thing that I would add is so once you have held on to your intuition, awaiting your memory to serve you the bigger picture, I would say look at what is happening all through. Unaget, like, wacha tu focus on the outside. Look at what is happening personally in your life. Look at what is happening to your abilities. Look at what is happening to your skill set. Look at what you're learning. Look at what you're supposed to relearn. Look at what you're supposed to unlearn. Cause pia izo external projections, hate, nini. Sinilisha sema at the beginning of the video, unless you have a receptor for it, itakupita. You won't even notice, oh, that person was hating on me. You'll notice later, after maybe amefanya like a few other things, and you're like, I know this is not normal behavior. Sindio. So focus on what you're supposed to like pick from whatever the experience is. Focus on what the experience has done to your growth. Growth and expansion is the priority in this world, in this lifetime. For me personally, I don't know about you, but for me, growth and expansion is the priority. So I take every experience I go through, I look at it from a growth and expansion POV. How is this supposed to like reflect on me? Ama maybe ni mimi ninajichukia, ndio maana ninafeel huyo msee ananichukia. Because sometimes maybe huyo msee akuchukii, ama maybe pia huyo msee project ni wewe ndio una project. Like be aware, just be aware of yourself. Be aware of yourself, be aware of your surrounding. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Stay authentic, because with authenticity there's no image to uphold. Yes. Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on our social media handles at _yourlocal.pothead and at _nyagoha, both on Instagram, and at yourlocalpothead and at nyagoha is on TikTok. Go be great. Go live the biggest life you can ever conjure up in your mind. Follow your passions. Do your thing. Like, this is the time. Nimeshinda nikisema hiki tu pia tangu nifungue YouTube channel yangu. If there was ever a time for you as a young person, especially of African descent, to follow your passions and your dreams, it's now. Systems zingine zina fall. Nani ata replace hizo systems kama sisi? Yes. Your local pothead out.